Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another exciting meeting at Toastmasters for Entrepreneurs and Professionals. Life is all about learning and growing and implementing these learnings to become better. At Toastmaster, it's about you competing with you to become a better version. Always 2.4, 3 point, or whatever version that you look into. Maybe sometimes it's just baby steps, 2.1, 3.1, something like that. Today we have a wonderful theme. The Toastmaster of the day is Toastmaster Sarika. And the question is, who are you? But before that, let me introduce the newly elected president, Toastmaster Ravindra Verma. But before even introducing the executive committee, it is my duty to install the incoming executive committee. Now, as an installation officer, I will take the initiative to announce the executive committee and one by one introduce and slowly install the incoming officers. As per the elections conducted in this club, the list of the incoming officers is as is. Toastmaster Ravindra Verma as the incoming president, Toastmaster Manasa as the incoming VP membership. VP education, Toastmaster Sarika as the incoming VP membership, and then Toastmaster Jahanavi as the incoming VP PR, and then our Vamshi as the incoming secretary, and then Toastmaster Gopal Krishnan as the incoming treasurer, and Toastmaster Shashi, the newest buddy in the team, as the incoming Sergeant at Arms. One by one, I will read your duties and then install you. Without any doubt, I announce all the outgoing officers as their duties completed and then their duties discharged without any notice on the spot. I invite Toastmaster Shashi. I ask you to raise your hand while I read your duties, and then when I announce complete that, you just need to announce as I do. You're getting married to your role as Sergeant at Arms. So the role of a Sergeant at Arms is to greet the guest and also open the meeting beforehand, be here early so that you can greet the guest and same time put the energy into the meetings. All your roles and responsibilities, including sometimes finding the location, sometimes arranging the queue, and also ensuring nobody is disturbing the meeting. Overall, your responsibilities that meetings are smooth and there's no disturbance from anywhere. Are you up to this role and do you take this role seriously, and will you perform this role with your utmost sincerity, Toastmaster Shashi?
I do, Raghu.
Thank you very much. With the power vested in me as the installing officer, I now announce you as the Sergeant at Arms for Toastmaster for Entrepreneurs and Professionals for the upcoming term. Now it's time for Toastmaster Gopal Krishnan. Toastmaster Gopal Krishnan is the incoming treasurer. As incoming treasurer, you are responsible for maintaining the finances of this club, maintaining the records of all financial transactions, helping members renew their membership whenever as necessary. Of course, now we do have self-pay enabled. If in any by chance they are not able to use a credit card, you are here to help them with the financial transaction with your utmost sincerity, and you will give support to executive committee when and as needed. Will you perform this role with your utmost sincerity and honesty, Toastmaster Gopal Krishna?
I will. I will.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Gopal. With the power vested in me as installing officer, I now announce you as the treasurer for Toastmaster for Entrepreneurs and Professionals for the upcoming term.
Thank you.
Toastmaster Kamshi Allah, you are elected as secretary for the upcoming term for Toastmaster for Entrepreneurs and Professional. As a secretary, you are responsible for maintaining all the admin records of the club. You are responsible for also to ensure that the meeting minutes for both executive committee meetings and also club meetings are maintained properly. All the records are maintained properly, and you're also responsible for as a base camp manager when the VP Education and President are not available. You also have vested power to vote and elect officers when there are no other interested parties during the club elections. Will you take this role sincerely and give your 100% in for this role, Toastmaster Vamshiala?
I do.
Wonderful, thank you. With the power vested in me as a selling officer, I now announce you as the secretary for Toastmaster for Entrepreneurs and Professional for the upcoming term. It's time for VPPR. As she is not in today, I announce by default her as incoming officer. Or someone can be proxy for her. Toastmaster Manasa, in case you want to be. As a VPPR, you are responsible for doing the PR of the club and advertising the club details or meeting details and everything, and helping the club do events across, working with secretary in case if needed for maintaining a club magazine, etc. And also helping the executive committee as and when needed. Will you perform this role with utmost sincerity, Toastmaster Jahanavi, in the name of Toastmaster Manasa?
Yes, I do.
Wonderful, thank you. I now announce Toastmaster Jahanavi as the incoming VPPR for Toastmaster for Entrepreneurs and Professional for the upcoming term. It's time for Toastmaster Sarika. As a VP membership, you are responsible for inviting the guests to join to see the value of Toastmasters, helping them with their membership, and also helping them filling their membership forms and helping them by adding into the website. You're also here responsible for helping the members initially when they are inducted, and also to see the value of the program into pathways. As a VP membership, you take this role sincerely and honestly and with utmost value. Toastmaster Sarika.
I will, Toastmaster Raghu.
Wonderful, thank you very much. I proudly announce Toastmaster Sarika as an incoming VP membership. As a VP Education, Toastmaster Manasa, you are responsible for entire club for the meeting proceedings. Just like the queen and the chess, you are the centerpiece of attraction for the club because entire load of club performance lies on you. The quality of the meeting will attract guests. So you are responsible for ensuring that the quality of meetings are there. You're also responsible for understanding the program and helping the guests and members see the value in giving speeches and doing the roles. And also ensuring that every member selects one path and are on their path of doing their speeches or at least seeing the value. So as an incoming VP Education, will you take this seriously and help the club?
Yes, I do.
Wonderful, thank you very much. I now announce you as an incoming VP Education. Now, as a President Toastmaster Ravindra, you are a team player. So you might not have a particular role, but you are the chair of all the meetings, club meetings or executive committee meetings. You are responsible for entire club as a CEO of that. Though you don't have a role, but you will get into the shoes of any officer who is not present and ensure that entire club proceedings are smooth. You will need to support when and as needed. And your leadership qualities is something that is necessary for the club to perform well. Toastmaster Ravindra, will you promise to be a better leader and ensure the club will perform well under your guidance and you will help all the officers as needed? You're on mute.
Yes, I do.
Wonderful. Thank you. You're married to Toastmaster for entrepreneurs and professionals. With the power vested in me, I now announce all the incoming 7 officers as officer for the upcoming term for Toastmaster for entrepreneurs and professionals. With that note, it's time to invite our incoming president for his 2-minute speech for his vision and also what is that he wants us to help him or where he wants us to help him with his vision. Over to you, Master Ravi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghu. And it's really a great opportunity serving a president role for any club. I mean, it seems to be honor, but at the same time, I need to understand. I mean, the roles, responsibilities are, handling these roles and responsibilities are very difficult. But yes, I will definitely serve my role, and I will definitely take the club to the next level. My major goal is to improvise the quality of the club, and improvise the quality of the meetings, and targeting the club, increasing the membership, and make this club one of the distinguished clubs among the district level. That's what I'm thinking at this point of time. With the help of all the executive committee, we will definitely do our best. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ravindra. Now it's time for our meeting. The question again, who are you? Now, but this lady has always come up with some intriguing questions, some intriguing themes. And she's the icon of feminism when it comes to Toastmasters. And let me invite Toastmaster Sarika Chowdhury as the Toastmaster of the day. Over to you, Sarika. A virtual lecture.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Raghu. Am I audible and visible to each participant in the meeting?
Yes, you are.
When I was in class 4th, someone asked me, a random teacher, I don't remember the name, I do not remember the face, who are you? Because I was walking all by myself at 11 o'clock in the morning, and I really didn't care if I was in the class or not. The teacher came up to me and asked me, who are you? I said, I'm Sarika. She's like, okay, aren't you supposed to be in the class? I really did not think anything about it. I was a little bubbly child. I didn't want it to stay in boundaries, laws, rules. Maybe I was born in the air sign. And then I was like, okay, I went back to the class and resumed my day. Fast forward to intermediate, when I was standing as the president for the college. And my teacher again asked me, Sarika, who are you? Twice in my life, I was asked this question, who are you? Twice, I didn't have an answer for the question, who are you? Before I get on my journey of this question, who are you? I want you to take 1 minute. Timer, please note 1 minute. I want each one of the participant to write 3 words that describe themselves that starts with their first letter of their name. For example, my name is Sarika. So I am picking up 3 words that start with S and describes me. Timer, can you please start it? It will only be for 1 minute.
Sure, I'll do it. I'm doing that.
Thank you so much, Timer Shashi. Do not disclose the answers, for I am not interested in the answers. I'm interested in going a little beyond answer. Before I go beyond, please allow me to introduce my wonderful tag team, without which any Toastmaster meeting seems incomplete. They are the cherries on the cake, and we all fight for cherries on the cake. My tag team, the first member I would want to invite is my timer, Toastmaster Shashi. Please introduce yourself and lay out the rules for your role.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Good and welcome all the guests and fellow Toastmasters. As a timer, today my duty will be to help practice all the speakers their thought to express within the allocated time. My duty here is also to time all the prepared speeches, table topics, and also speech evaluations during this meeting. To help me do this, I have three cue cards: green, yellow, and red. For all the table topics, I will be using a green card at 1 minute, at yellow card at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red card at 2 minutes. For most other speeches, which will be at the duration of 5 to 7 minutes, I will be using for 5 minutes, I will be using green card, yellow card at 7 minutes, I will be using red card. For individual evaluations, which will last up to 2 to 3 minutes, at 2 minutes, I will be using green card, and at yellow, I will be at 2 minutes 30 seconds. I will be using yellow card, and at 3 minutes, I will be raising the red card. And you will have a grace time of 30 seconds after every red card. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. At the end of this session, whenever I called upon, I'll present my report.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shashi. Next, I call upon my counter, Toastmaster Vinay, who has accepted this from Ben's Toastmaster Club. Toastmaster Vinay.
He's not in the room.
Who is taking care of the counter? I don't see any update here.
I think we can skip that for this meeting. Can go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Toastmaster Raghu. The third is my favorite grammarian, Toastmaster Anne, who always makes us euphoric by the way she speaks and how she speaks. Toastmaster Anne, over to you.
Good morning to everyone. Who are you? I was described as a cherry on the cake by Madam G.E., so that's a good start using creative language. We are going to be euphoric today. We're going to be emotionally stable, happy, and excited about our roles as Toastmasters, our roles today in various ways. And we have a sense of freedom to be who we want to be in our expression. Who you are is determined by the way you speak. Yes, it is. We're so driven to perform that we sometimes forget the detail is in the grammar. And I'm going to be encouraging you to be creative today. I'll also be listening for word usage, incomplete sentences. Remember the in the words, please. Nothing is going to be criticized. It's all going to be said with love at the end. And I'm going to be very euphoric in my review. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anne. My meeting today is divided into 3 parts. The first is the prepared speeches, where I have 2 speakers. The second is the table topic, which will be led by Toastmaster Raghu. And the third part of the meeting is the evaluation sector. Now, when I was in my intermediate and my teacher asked me, Sarika, who are you? I told, ma'am, my name is Sarika. I am from intermediate. My subjects are into literature, history. She said, who are you? And I said, ma'am, that is exactly who I am, someone who is pursuing her high school. She said, I don't think that is Sarika. I think that is what you're doing at this point in time. I think that is what you have been brought into this world for. That is your karma. I did not understand that question and I dismissed the question because I was too young to understand such a deep question. And also, it was asked by my English teacher, and I always branded English teachers as someone who is way too intellectual for this world. After that, I got married. Toastmasters happened in 2019 when I was in Anurag University as an assistant professor, Karma as an English teacher. In the first meeting, when my mentor asked me to introduce myself as for the icebreaker session, he told me the same thing. Sarika, you're supposed to tell who you are in the icebreaker. By that time, I was fed up with that question. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter-in-law, I'm an individual. He's like, no, sit through the question. Take 1 week. It is not who you are. It is what you do in different roles, different capacities. You are a teacher, you're a daughter-in-law, you're a sister, you're a wife, you're a mother. But beneath all these things, there is someone, and that someone should surface for you to reach the highest in humanity. And that accelerated my thought process. And that is where this journey of who are you started in my life. Before I continue, I would want to open the first segment of my meeting and would want to call upon the first speaker, speaker 1, Toastmaster Ravindra, before whom I will be obliged, honored to call upon the stage his evaluator, Toastmaster Rohan. Toastmaster Rohan, over to you.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Toastmaster Ravindra today is delivering his project called Inspire Your Audience. And the purpose of this project is for the member to practice writing and delivering a speech that inspires others. And it's also for the member to inspire the audience in one form or another. Timer, please note, time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes for this particular speech. And I wish Toastmaster Ravindra all the very best. Back to you, Toastmaster Sarika.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rohan. Toastmaster Ravindra Verma, unmasking greedy bottled water. Unmasking greedy bottled water. Toastmaster Ravindra, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. An advertisement of a bottled water always took my attention. Their motto is to enrich water with 300% more oxygen. Well, the chemical formula of water is H2O, 2 forms of hydrogen and one form of oxygen. We all know, right? If you need to add more 300% oxygen, then the formula is going to be H2O3, right? Which is going to be hydrogen trioxide, more concentrated than hydrogen peroxide. Again, hydrogen peroxide is one of the concentrated acid. Moreover, the promoter of this bottled water company is one of the biggest chewable tobacco manufacturers. Dear Toastmasters, let's unmark the greedy bottled water. Once the bottled water, once considered a convenient luxury, has now become an essential part of our daily routine. We reach for the bottle with an assumption that it is to be a healthy choice. But have we truly considered the broader implications? For the one who thinks bottled water is the right choice, these are the facts. Number 1, we miss an important element by taking bottled water. Can anyone guess? Toastmaster Raghu, Toastmaster Manasa, Toastmaster Anne.
Safety of the water, if it is in the plastic container.
Okay. We are missing more important that one. Minerals, right? Yes, these manufacturing companies undergo extensive purification process, which can remove minerals that naturally process in the water. Also, the taste buds included in the water are not at all for our health. Not only that, if the bottle is exposed to heat, temperature, or stored for a long time, right, the potential leaching of chemicals, the plastic that continued in the water, and the chemicals such as BPA and pathols have been associated with the health issues that includes hormone disruptions. Despite the plastic contamination, environmental impact, cost, health, life, whatnot, we still prefer bottled water. You know the reason why? The corporate greed made us addicted to this bottled water. These corporate companies recognize the profitability of bottled water, have transformed it into a scarce resource. Through clever marketing and strategic branding, they have convinced us that the product is superior to tap water. As a result, we found ourselves in a world where bottled water is more readily available, clean, accessible than tap water. You go to any remote area, you may not get a natural water, but you will for sure find that bottled water. That's how they manage their supply chain. These companies extract water from your own land, process it with some chemicals, and sell it to you with 200% more profits by packing it in a contaminated plastic bottle, and will simply encourage bottled water for the sake of convenience. The example that I shared at the beginning of this speech, right? Just that corporate is just among millions of other corporations. We must question the motive behind the manipulation and consequences of society as a whole. Well, governments play a crucial role in ensuring a well-being of their citizens, including provision of quality water. It is the primary responsibility of the governments to safeguard our access to clean, safe drinking water, but it is not happening at the core, we all know. Who is answerable to the improper disposal of plastic that harming ecosystem and wildlife? Is it corporates, or governments, or us? I blame each one of us neglecting the pearl and encouraging the bottled water. The responsibility to eliminate bottled water does not rest solely on the shoulders of the corporations and governments, my dear friends. Each one of us a role to play affecting the change. It starts with the conscious decisions to reduce our reliance on bottled water. By opting for a tap water, whenever possible, carry a reusable containers, we can make significant impact. Furthermore, we can advocate a change within our communities, schools, and workplaces by spreading awareness about the environmental and social consequences of bottled water. We can inspire others to join us in making sustainable choices. In conclusion, the issue of bottled water is complex and impacting our lives, the environment, and our access to quality water. While corporations and governments share responsibility, it is up to each one of us to take action. Let us hold corporations accountable, demand better form of our governments, and make conscious choice in our daily lives. Together, we can eliminate the need of bottled water and create a future where clean, accessible water is a fundamental right for all of us. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ravindra. Next, I call upon the stage speaker 2 of the day, Toastmaster Manasa, before whom I'm going to invite Toastmaster Raghu, who will be evaluating her speech. Toastmaster Raghu, over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day. Toastmasters is where leaders are made. Today, Toastmaster Manasa is attempting one of the project in line with the theme of Toastmasters. This is understanding your leadership style. We all must introspect and understand our own style, right? The project is all about for the member to identify his or her primary leadership style or style. And the purpose of this speech is for a member to share some aspects of his or her primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. This project from leadership development path is what Toastmaster Manasa is attempting, and I wish her all the best. Over to Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghu. Timer, please note, the speech is for 5 to 7 minutes. Toastmaster Manasa, leadership. Leadership, Toastmaster Manasa. Over to you.
True leaders always practice 3 R's: respect for self, respect for others, and responsibility for their actions. Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning to Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear guests. Warm welcome to one and all. Who all are leaders here in this room? Well, each one of us possesses the qualities of a leader, but one becomes a leader when he identifies those qualities and brings those qualities into action. I found a leader in me for the first time when I was associated with more than 100 members and I was supposed to steer the ship. It was our college cultural and technical fest, Daksha 2K22. I was one of the main coordinators for our department of computer science and engineering, and also the main lead for media and publicity department for the overall event. As a media and publicity department lead, I was supposed to make a souvenir, and it was inaugurated on the second day of the fest. During the fest, daily we used to collect all the pictures of the event, and along with that, we wrote few articles regarding the fest to publish in the local newspapers. Overall, the fest was a grand success with more than 114 colleges attending the fest. By organizing this event, also made me realize 4 different styles of leadership in me. The first one is democratic, where the leader's objective is to give others occasionally the chance to lead and excel in their path. We were supposed to have volunteers and coordinators to conduct all the activities in the department. So we listed out all the interested students and assigned them to all the activities by interviewing them. We just gave them the theme and asked them to call a shot and conduct the activity. Second one is affiliative, where the leader's motive is to create a cohesive unit by emphasizing teamwork and harmony. So we used to have meetings with all the volunteers to make sure each and every team is comfortable with their team members or they had any issues. There were 2 to 2 teams where people had issues with their team members as they wouldn't turn up all the time when the team needed them the most. So we made sure that we were supposed to replace them with others so that it would not create a burden for others in the team. Third one is coaching, where the leader's objective is to prepare the individual for the future by emphasizing the skills in them. We had 2 members from the third years and 2 members from the second year in each team, so that juniors who are in second year would get a chance to observe their leaders or the seniors, and they could perform the fest next year when they were supposed to lead and organize everything. We added equal amount of juniors from second year and few from first year in all the activities, even campaigning and sponsorship, so that they'll get the opportunity to learn from their seniors how to work effectively and approach effectively. The last or the fourth one was altruistic, where the leader's motive is to meet the personalized needs of the individualized team. So we had 4 main coordinators. So we divided all the teams in our department among us, and we made sure to meet all the needs of our teams which are under us. We made sure they got their attendance while they were working for the fest, as attendance is one of the important criteria for Bachelor of Technologies, and also the logistics for their activity which they were conducting during the fest. Democratic, affiliative, coaching, and altruistic are the 4 types of leadership for me. But each one of us would possess at least one type of leader in them, who would come out just depending upon the situation they are in. So I observe leadership just depends upon the situation we are in, which brings out the hidden qualities which we possess in us. As a person who led, I have learned how to deal in different situations and how to approach people in different ways. Overall, and leadership is not an expertise. Leadership is a continuous process of learning. So I am learning to be a good leader. Thank you, and back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Manasa. So back to my story. When I was writing Who Are You as my icebreaker session, my mentor gave me a peekaboo into what makes me me. I might be a mother and I might lose my cool sometimes. I might be a wife and I might be too involved in my husband's life. I might be a daughter and I might be overly concerned about my parents. So I asked my mentor, what is it that I should write? He told me, I don't know you. And I said, you have been talking to me for 2 to 3 times now. He told me a very important sentence at that point in time. He told me, Sarika, I speak to so many people day in, day out. I don't know who they are. I only know what they do day in, day out. If you have to tread on the journey of who you are, you have to stop looking outside of you. Introspect. That is the word. Introspect and understand what makes you, you. And my icebreaker session, as I stood on the stage in Anurag University in 2019 after the club was inducted, and I gave my icebreaker session, I did not talk about what I do every day, but I talked about who I am. I am someone who loves companies of different people. I am someone who loves to understand different cultures from different parts of the world. I am someone who loves to go out on weekends and not stay indoors and sulk in my life. I am someone who loves to read and understand different perceptions from different people. With this, I will take a pause and I will hand over the virtual stage to our table topic master, which is basically my favorite segment, to Toastmaster Raghu. I'm sure he will ask you questions which will help you question yourself at the end of the meeting. Toastmaster Raghu, over to you.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. In life, there are several moments which decide sometimes most of our life. And I call these moments the impromptu, or rather anybody calls them. But one thing I would say, life is not a prepared speech as is, right? Sometimes you can go prepared, but most of the time we cannot. But for those moments, we prepare ourselves with practicing table topics in Toastmasters. Why? Let me tell you. You are giving a pitch and somebody asked a question on the spot. Sometimes this answer for 1 to 2 minutes makes a large difference to you. The investor makes it, and rather he decides whether to invest or not. I'm not being a feminist here, anti-feminist here, he or she. Okay, I'll generalize that. Now, coming to any other point, your boss asks a question, your wife asks a question, your children ask you a question. That makes a lot of difference. Now, today we are going to practice that. Even your interview, you are asked you certain questions. Your answer is going to make an impact. Sometimes your interview is finished within just first 1 to 2 minutes. Trust me, that's how it happens. Sometimes you make an impression. First impression is the last impression. We are going to practice that. You are to speak for at least 1 to 2 minutes, and then maximum is 2.5 minutes with 30 second grace period. So 1 to 2 minutes is, you will see the 1 minute is green, yellow is 1.5, and 2 is the red card. Once you see the red card, try to wrap up. One technique I will tell you is prep method. A common technique that you can use: prep, point, reasoning, example, and making point. So I give you a topic, you can agree or disagree. You can make your point to it. Then give your response, rather reasoning, why you think, why you are making that point. And then once you have the reasons, try to give examples for people to agree with your reasoning. And in the end, make your point once again. For example, if you are saying that COVID was a hoax, you're making a point. Whether I agree or disagree, doesn't matter. You're making a point, and then you're giving your reasons. And then when reasons, you're giving some example, taking your point again. See that is the reason why I'm believing COVID is a hoax. This can be used for your prepared and also for your impromptu pitches. Now that we understood about table topics and understood about what are the technique, there are one technique that can be used and the timing guidelines, I will invite one of the Toastmasters to present to the guest how to do the table topics, and then we can proceed from there. Now I have I'm euphoric to invite this Toastmaster, who is none other than our grammarian today, Toastmaster Anne-Marie Joseph, joining from St. Lucia as the first speaker in table topics. Anne-Marie, I want to see your beautiful face. You are hiding from the camera. Can you look at this camera? Okay. Yeah. Need to unmute yourself. Wonderful.
I thought I was a grammarian today.
Yes, you're a grammarian, but you're also going to be a skateboard for the first table topic.
That's not fair.
First topic for you, Toastmaster Anne-Marie, and the topic for you is, what makes you unique? What makes you unique given a point of time in a crowd?
What makes me unique? I am who I am. My name is Anne-Marie. I would say I'm aggressively persistent. I'm also very amorous. and I would say that anything goes. So that's my name, Anne-Marie, 3 A's, aggressive, amorous, and anything goes. Who I am and what makes me so different is that I have become determined in anything I set my mind to. There have been times where I've been written off as useless, uneducated. When I went to school, they wouldn't even let me take the exam. No, my dad had to pay for me. I would love to go back to that school and tell them that I made it. I did it. I became a lawyer. I became a chartered insurer. I became an arbitrator. This is someone who was written off in an English school as not being able to even take the exams. So my uniqueness, as I said, is my aggressive persistence. Be who you are. Do not let others determine who you are. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Wonderful thing. In line with the theme of the day too. Now, can I ask our distinct Toastmaster and guest to nominate yourself? Shashi, do you want to go next?
Sure.
Okay, that was for Shashi the Reddy. I'll come to you, Shashi, just because you nominated yourself. So Shashi the Reddy, the topic is for you. Was there any moment in your life when you questioned your entire life or your entire existence? Was there any moment in your life when you questioned your entire existence?
So thank you, Raghunath, for giving this wonderful topic. There was one time, I was working in IIT Bombay as a scientist on lithium-ion batteries. So during my childhood, I lived in one of the most polluted places in India. It's like coal mines around, cement factories, you name whatever polluted place, everything is there. So during my childhood, I felt I should do something so that this pollution should decrease. So I took chemical engineering bachelor's and master's I did in materials engineering. Then in IIT Bombay, I joined because they had collaboration with industries to make lithium battery prototyping lab there. So I joined there, although I got a university admit in Singapore. So then after joining there, we did wonderful and we made wonderful batteries and the performance was very great. We got funding from a committee of scientists who were like Nobel Prize winners, and they gave us funding and we constructed the lithium-ion batteries. The dream was there. And then at final stage, I met an accident. That accident turned my life upside down. And in that accident, I tried to, even after that accident, I tried to work in the chemistry lab, but still, it caused me a lot of pain in my lungs and all those health complications happened. So I thought all my life I've been dreaming of working for decreasing the pollution, working in eco-friendly technologies, but here I am. Now I am unable to enter the lab. At that point of time, I felt all my dreams, all my purpose, all my experience of previous childhood, every pain, it's gone. What is the purpose of that pain I have had during the living in an extremely polluted place? Everything was, all the meaning I had for my life, everything washed out. I had to start anew. I had to think new so that I can start my life again. That time I felt that all my life turned upside down, and that's how I changed my career from being a scientist to an entrepreneur. Thank you, Raghunath. Over to you.
Well, it's good to rise from ashes, just like a phoenix. So I know you for a while, but I'm inspired to know your story today, Shashi. Sarika has nominated herself for being a Toastmaster of the day, but I still want to pose a difficult question for her. Sarika, what is your defining moment in life? What what was the defining moment in your life when you decided that you will do this, what you're doing today?
Fellow Toastmasters, friends, and guests. Every day when you wake up, you have been taught to thank God that you have added another day to your life. After you wake up, basically, you are supposed to thank God. Irrespective of which religion you belong to, it doesn't really matter. Each one of us are taught to thank God. So when Toastmaster Raghu asked me what is my defining moment, I would not be able to put a finger on one particular thing. As a mother, when I scold my children, I am defining something in them and in me. As a woman, if I'm not standing up for someone, I'm defining a moment for them and me. As a human, if I'm not doing what is right, I'm defining a moment for myself and for the other human being. I would want to take life as it comes. I would not want to stand in boundaries and tell this one particular moment defined my life. Although that one particular moment might bring a drastic change in my personality, and I would define success, regret, repent, happiness, joy, euphoria. But if someone asks me this, I would just say every day, every moment is a defining moment. It is up to me if I look through the eyes of the word define or not. Over to Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much for that insightful answer. Who wants to go next? Okay. So Resh, okay, Khan.
Yes, table topic master.
You want to quickly introduce yourself? Where are you joining today from? And which club you are from?
Yes, I am Toastmaster Afah Khan, past president of Deshpande Education Trust Toastmasters Club, Hubli, Karnataka. It is a part of a District 92. And I am a medical equipment entrepreneur. I live in Hubli. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. Good to know about you, another entrepreneur. And the topic for you is very simple. Do we humans deserve this planet? Do we humans deserve this planet? Toastmaster Afah Khan.
In my opinion, the entire planet, all the universe, all the planets have been created for human being. This was the basic idea of all that Big Bang theory, or whoever the higher self, be it a God, Bhagwan, or Allah, who have created us. This was the basic idea. But I think we very awfully disappointed the nature. We did not play the role what it was meant for. Instead of being altruistic and being kind towards the nature, towards the animal, towards the trees, we went ahead with our own ambitions of destroying and exploiting the entire nature. And we are seeing the consequences now. Can we understand a bit why we human nature have been becoming little evil? Is not because we have been taught evil. It is because our own perception of other human being is radically and drastically changing. I wonder, I generally find parents saying, we have not taught our children this, we have not taught our children that. But have we ever noticed the kind of clues we have been giving to our children? That matters a lot. Sometimes I doubt, I question my father, I question my mother. We need to question this because question is basis of humanity. You see, and we see generally, Arjun has questioned Krishna. He did not blindly believe him. That says that we need to question our own people, our own perception, our own concept of believing whatever we are believing. In that case, we will bring some deservability to this planet. And without bringing the deservability, without proving ourselves, if we go away from this world, which is very indefinite, then I think we will be really in a very disappointing soul. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster.
So proud of you, Toastmaster Afar. Wonderful attempt. I would say you should attempt table topic context coming to your ear. I have a last topic. Who wants to go next? One last topic. One. Mohan, do you want to go?
Sure.
What is your vision for the humanity, Toastmaster Rohan? What is your vision for the humanity?
I believe humanity came on Earth to live in harmony with all the other aspects that Earth provides to human beings, whether it be nature, whether it be the abundance of resources. The vision for humanity that I have, or I believe that we are inching towards, is a vision of harmony, that human beings will live in harmony with everything that is around us instead of exploiting these natural resources for the value that they bring to humanity. Instead of doing that, I believe that we should strive towards a vision of balance, strive towards a vision of living in balance with one another as our ancestors who started humanity in the first place used to do it on Earth. We kept hearing stories of them in school, in college, about how tribal cultures lived in past lives, how they treated nature as part of them rather than a resource that they look to exploit. So my vision for humanity is a future where we go back to that time. We go back to a time where we live together with nature, with other living beings on Earth, and not treat them as below them or inferior to humanity itself. That would be my vision for humanity. Table topic master, and back to you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. All the attempts today were wonderful. So it reminds me of this one kavita in Hindi, or rather poem in Hindi, which says, Gita ho, Quran ho main, musko pad insaan ho main. It's all about knowing the fellow human being. It's not about anything else. You are nothing is what you need to decide, what you need to understand. Essence of everything is when you understand that you are. When you disassociate yourself with everything, that is when you attain what is promised in every religion. Well, with that note, I hope you all get to that position where you are able to realize who you are with our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Sarika.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghu, for a euphoric table topic session. I would now want 2 or 3 volunteers to pick up what they have written for themselves on the paper when I first asked you the question. Any volunteers? Okay, all right, let me go with my name. My name starts with S, and with S, the 3 words that I describe for myself is sophisticated, because I believe I can actually sit in a 5-star restaurant with as much ease as a person who has been born with a silver spoon. The second word is soft, because I like art, I like culture, I like talking in and learning. And the third word that describes me is super, because I am actually super at what I do. Any volunteers who would want to share one or two, because, keeping in consideration the paucity of time? Or
Yeah.
should we?
My name is Raghu, and the first one will associate with myself. Myself with is a runner, because I always want to run away from the problems. Any time that I see a problem, first thing that I think of is the running away. But then, second thing is resurrecting. I think, what is the worst that can happen? Why should I run away? Then I think and start working. If it goes in the worst, I always have a second chance. If not, anyways, I'm down there. Nothing else can go wrong. And there have been several occasions, situations, and just like Anne-Marie, I've been in situations where people have undermined me, looked down upon me. But then I have decided that I'll come up and then prove myself, not to them, but for me. And the Toastmaster also has been helpful in the situations where I was not able to communicate well. There was a situation in my life when I was not given equal opportunity with my fellow employees just because I stuttered. But then today I'm here helping people and helping them to communicate, while at a moment where I was not able to communicate myself. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Raghu. That was very, very kind of you. The third and the most important segment is evaluation. And my first evaluator for the prepared speech is Toastmaster Rohan. I would like to call Toastmaster Rohan to give his evaluation for Toastmaster Ravindra. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Unmasking greedy bottled water. I think this topic cannot be talked about enough, and I really appreciate the fact that Toastmaster Ravindra brought so many interesting facts and inspired the audience to take action on it and consider it even further beyond the speech. I absolutely love the way the speaker included a takeaway at the end of the speech after presenting all the facts. Because the purpose of the speech was to inspire the audience, a call to action or a takeaway is extremely important, and the speaker really nailed this part perfectly during his speech, because the outline of the speech was very well structured with the intro, body, and conclusion. And conclusion was laced with a good takeaway and a call to action, with calling out the governments, calling out individuals to really be responsible about the water usage and how we treat bottled water particularly. Secondly, I absolutely love the way the speaker invited audience to answer questions within the speech. There was a point where the speaker asked the audience about minerals in the bottled water and waited for the audience to actually come up with answers. This showed a level of command by the speaker and confidence during the speech, which was very well appreciated during the speech as well. When he asked the question to the audience, because it sends the mind racing and keeps the audience focused and present on the speech itself. I have a couple of recommendations for the speaker. Firstly, I noticed that the speaker's speaking stance was that he was looking down on the computer rather than looking straight up. When a speech involves inspiring the audience, the speaker needs to be on the same level as the audience members so that he can connect with them on a one-to-one level and look straight in the camera rather than looking down, which signals somewhat negative perception in terms of the speaking position and authority over the audience itself. Secondly, I noticed the speaker was racing through the speech from one point to the other. I would recommend the speaker add more pauses, because the speech itself was filled with facts and good content relating to bottled water. And this would really help the speaker as well as the audience in absorbing all the content and also portraying a bit of confidence throughout the speech with pauses placed strategically. So maybe placed after the introduction, after the body, after the conclusion, just to make it more dynamic throughout the speech. all in all, I love the way the speaker achieved the speech objectives in inspiring the audience using a takeaway, in inviting the audience members to answer questions. The speaker could challenge himself further by adding more pauses, working on his speaking position, and overall, I love the speech and I wish the speaker all the very best for his future speeches. Back to you, Toastmaster Sarika.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rohan. Next, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Raghu to evaluate Toastmaster Manasa. Toastmaster Raghu, over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day. When I completed my icebreaker, I was in full spree. Then next 3 speeches just went like anything. Because I was in the full spree and then I was in the race. Then I had to call the content done. But when I completed my level 1, and my level 2 project 1 was understand your leadership style. And guess what? It took me 1.5 months to work on this special project. Leadership, understanding your leadership style. It is a difficult project indeed, because where you need to introspect, where you must see yourself as a leader. And Toastmaster Manasa is a leader, no doubt about it, because I've seen her performing in various platforms, at least in Toastmasters in our college, Anurag University. Toastmaster Manasa. 2 best things for from your speech today is that one thing, you are narrating your personal stories. Personal stories enrichen your speech and make people to connect with you, because they start seeing the movie and start imagining themselves. They know that you are speaking genuinely. Second thing was that you were in interactive mode and trying to pose questions when I was necessary, and also using the space properly. Now, if I have to give you improvement areas, first thing was this speech was about to identify your primary style. Instead of talking about 4 different styles, as per me, it would have been better if you have identified your main style or styles and talked about how it was better or how it could have been better from those anecdotes that you gave. Though you are given 4 different anecdotes and relating with those styles, I would have felt better if you have talked about what was your primary style, whether it worked well or whether it didn't work, and why. You have talked about that, you have made your speech much better. Second thing was your voice. Now, if you could have spoken in line with the emotions of your speech, is increasing and decreasing your voice in line to add emotion to speech, you have added much better. But the wow factor in your speech was your pauses. Most of us Indians suffer from this problem where this running just like the road runner. That people never understand other side. But today you have added pauses for people to understand what you're speaking. Overall, I love the way that you have added anecdotes, talked about different styles. Just add more, work more on your voice modulation and try to connect with audience. I'm sure you will be able to ace in your next speech. Wishing you all the best, Toastmasters.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Raghu. Next, I would like to call upon my tag team. Timer Shashi, may I please have the report evaluation, the time evaluation.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. I think it was a euphoric session today, and everyone has been able to maintain their time allocated. I will present my report starting from the speaker 1, who is Ravindra Verma. Ravindra Verma took 6 minutes and 7 seconds. Coming to speaker 2, Manasa, took 6 minutes, 10 seconds. With the second segment, table topics, our first speaker, Anne Marie, took 1 minute, 30 seconds. Second speaker, Shashidhar Reddy, took 2 minutes 7 seconds. And third speaker, Sarika, took 1 minute 53 seconds. Whereas Afaq Kumar Khan has taken 2 minutes 14 seconds. Roshan has took 1 minute 23 seconds. For the evaluation segment, Roshan has took 3 minutes 2 seconds and Raghu took 3 minutes 25 seconds. That is my report. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shashi. May I now please call upon our grammarian, Toastmaster Anne, for her detailed report. Over to you, Toastmaster Anne.
Thank you, Madam GE. Yes, this session today, I was a very euphoric grammarian. Well done, everybody. There were very few errors. I really enjoyed certain speakers because they had a balance of pace, they had energy, and they were clear. And two people stood out, Manasseh and Sarika, because you had some beautiful pauses which made your dicta very clear and concise. Well done. You're my magic grammarians today. I was very excited by the word of the day, euphoric, and 4 people took up the challenge. Sarika, you did it 3 times, Raghu twice, Sashi once, and there was one other person which I failed to remember. Was there anybody else who used the word of the day? No? All right, well, there's always next week. Do try and fill it in whenever possible. I felt a very strong connection with some euphoric vocabulary. Ravindra, sustainable choices. Sarika again, introspect. Sashi, Big Bang Theory. So our vocabulary is very advanced. And I'm so proud to be a member of this club because you really stretch the English language. Metaphor magic. Again, Sarika, you called me a cherry on the cake. Peekaboo, and use effective repetition. Manasseh, you also use the 3 R's, and repetition is a very useful way of emphasizing grammar. I liked also some descriptive titles, unmasking green bottled water. That really creates interest when you can put metaphors in your titles. I'd like to challenge you on some word endings. Understand is understand. Ask, I asked. And Mr. Khan, you said an instead of and a lot of people do that, and something when you should be using and. So just take care on that. Pronunciations, accent, no problem. What kills it is your consonants. I heard some very interesting words. I heard vel for vel, work for work, we for we, and where for where. We must take care on those consonants. I would encourage you to focus delivery on these key words where you want to say we instead of the, and stay at home and practice, practice, practice. It makes perfect. So let's try and get those consonants spot on. There are always opportunities to improve grammar. My wishing for humanity, my wish for humanity. Somebody said that, I can't remember who it was. A common theme is to drop the in a sentence. And there's certain words that we always tend to forget, the, a, and an. So I'll be using green card, I'll be using the green card. More than 100 members, more than 100 members. So you get the idea. Be more concise, but please remember these words. Very important for sentence structure. Expand your vocabulary, try to use a variety of language. For example, Ravindra, you kept saying, I will definitely. You use the word definitely. I will positively. Try and vary the words to increase your effectiveness. The number 1 tip for everyone is to slow down. open your mouth. You see how wide I open my mouth, which naturally slows you down and improve the grammar and the flow of your delivery. Overall, though, there were very few criminal offenses today. I want to congratulate you all on an euphoric performance. Continue to be creative, watch the pronunciations, and utilize the word of the day to excel. Over to you, Madam GE.
Thank you so much. And you make any grammarian euphoric by your detailed report. As I conclude my theme for the day, I would urge each one of you to have an inward journey. Maybe Raghu runs, but when Raghu is running, who is he? He is a mentor who pushes me non-stop to give me my best. For me, Raghu is someone who basically understands that I have potential and pushes me to give my best. For me, in the recent past, Anne has been such a fantastic grammarian that at some point in time, I would want to be like Anne. And also my executive council members, who is Manasa and also Lumbini, Janvi, my ex-students, and now they are shouldering the responsibility of this club. I would like each one of you to take a 30-second inward journey as you sleep and a 30-second inward journey as you wake up to understand who you are. That will make this world a much better place. I would now hand over this meeting to the Sergeant at Arms. Or do I give it to Raghu? Sorry.
The presiding officer,
Presiding.
Ravindra.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sarika. You did a great job and you motivated me, to be honest. Well, I would like to give, a couple of updates. One for executive committee. I think by end of tomorrow, COTP registrations will be closed. Who are all interested, I think they can go ahead and do, their registrations. Second, Toastmaster Raghu keep on, mentioning about, hiking Toastmaster membership fees. I did pay my next 10 years Toastmaster fee and I saved $15. It might not be a big money, but why to waste money, right? So definitely you all can go ahead and, try to, extend your membership. If you guys have any questions, you can reach out to me. And before we close, do we have guests in the meeting?
Yeah, we have Khan and Rishida Reddy.
Yes, I know. I would like to call them, to share their experiences of this meeting. Can I call Anne?